Hey everyone, welcome to a deep dive into a true classic,
Oh, yeah.
How to Stop Worrying and Start Living by Dale Carnegie.
Right.
You're looking for a direct route from page to practice
Absolutely.
when it comes to tackling worry.
Sure.
And this book
It really is.
is full of wisdom.
It's a hefty goal, for sure.
Yeah,
This book is packed with advice.
it is.
But that's what we're here for, to help you pull out the most actionable points
Right.
and put them to work in your life.
And Carnegie doesn't waste any time.
No, he doesn't.
He jumps right into those chapter titles that promise immediate help. How to keep from worrying about insomnia. 7 ways to cultivate a mental attitude that will bring you peace and happiness.
Right.
He even has one called How to Cure Melancholy in 14 Days.
Oh, wow.
I mean, talk about setting a timeline.
Yeah, setting a deadline.
Yeah.
Carnegie's own story
Yeah.
makes this even more compelling.
Right?
He was once, in his own words,
Yeah.
the unhappiest lad in New York.
Really?
Stuck in a job he hated.
Battling worry.
Yeah.
The fact that he transformed his own life this way
Right.
gives his practical advice an extra punch.
Okay, let's unpack one of the book's most powerful concepts.
Okay?
Living in day-tight compartments.
Right.
Now, I know it sounds a bit nautical,
It does.
but stay with me.
Okay.
This metaphor,
Right.
inspired by those watertight sections in ships,
Right.
had a huge impact on one of the most famous physicians ever,
Oh, wow.
Sir William Osler.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's amazing how relevant this idea still is today.
Oh, yeah.
Think about it. How often do your worries stem from getting lost in the past or stressing about the future?
All the time.
Day-tight compartments is all about pulling yourself back to the present moment.
Exactly.
That's it.
Sir Osler was this young medical student, overwhelmed with worries about exams, his career, the future, the usual suspect.
Right, right.
But then he read this quote from Thomas Carlyle: "Our main business is not to see what lies dimly at a distance, but to do what lies clearly at hand."
I like that.
That clicked for him.
It makes sense.
He realized he needed to shut out the anxieties of yesterday and tomorrow.
Right.
And just focus on today.
Yeah, it's about recognizing when your mind is wandering into what if or if only territory
Right.
and consciously bringing it back to the here and now.
Totally.
Imagine you're stressed about a big presentation at work.
Okay.
Instead of worrying about the outcome, you use day-tight compartments to focus solely on rehearsing your key points right now.
Right.
It's about taking action in the present moment.
Okay. Ready for another technique?
Alrighty.
Let's dive into Face the Worst.
Okay.
This 3-step formula was developed by Willis H. Carrier, the inventor of modern air conditioning.
Oh, wow.
It helped him through a massive business crisis. And it can help us with everyday worries, too.
It's about shifting from fear-based thinking to action.
Right.
Instead of letting worry paralyze you.
Yeah.
You analyze the situation and take charge.
Right. It's amazing how confronting that worst-case scenario can actually free us to find solutions.
Yeah.
But, sometimes the worry isn't about a specific event.
Right.
It's just this general feeling of unease.
Yeah.
Carnegie has something to say about that, too.
Okay.
He talks about the power of staying busy
Right.
as an antidote to worry.
It sounds counterintuitive.
It does.
But when we fill our minds with engaging activities, we leave less room for worry to take hold.
It's like our minds can only focus on one thing at a time.
Right.
So if we're engrossed in a task,
Yeah.
it's harder to simultaneously spiral into anxiety.
Exactly. Think about high achievers like Winston Churchill or Charles Kettering.
Right.
They were known for using intense work to manage their worries.
Interesting.
And this isn't a new concept either.
Right.
Even ancient Greek physicians
Okay.
recognized the therapeutic value of occupational therapy for calming the nerves.
Interesting. It makes me think about how often we try to relax our way out of worry.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes the answer is to engage more, not less.
Yeah. It's about finding that balance between rest and purposeful action.
Right.
Sometimes the best way to quiet a racing mind is to give it a challenging task to focus on.
Speaking of things that can send our minds racing, let's talk about those worries that are statistically unlikely to happen. Like the fear of being buried alive or struck by lightning.
Right. We all have those.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where understanding the law of averages can be really helpful.
Right.
It's about putting our fears into perspective.
Sure.
Carnegie points out that the chances of being killed by lightning in a given year are about 1 in 350,000.
Wow.
Being buried alive is even less likely.
Yeah, it reminds me of that saying, worry is like paying interest on a debt you may never owe.
That's a good one.
But sometimes it's not just about the likelihood of something happening.
Right.
It's about how much mental energy we're willing to invest in it, right?
Absolutely. We can get so caught up in sweating the small stuff
Oh, yeah.
that we lose sight of what truly matters.
Totally.
Carnegie tells this fascinating story about Gilbert and Sullivan,
Okay.
the musical geniuses.
Right.
They ended up destroying their friendship over something as trivial as the price of a carpet.
Wait, really? A carpet?
A carpet. It just goes to show how those seemingly insignificant worries
Wow.
can spiral out of control if we let them.
Yeah,
We have to be mindful of where we direct our energy and attention.
totally. It's a good reminder that sometimes
Yeah.
the biggest challenges aren't the problems themselves,
Right.
but our reactions to them.
Absolutely.
It's like we need to put a stop-loss order on our worries.
Yeah.
Similar to how investors limit their financial losses.
Exactly. We need to consciously decide how much worry a particular problem is worth.
Right.
Ask yourself, is this worth sacrificing my peace of mind,
Wow.
my relationships, my sleep?
Yeah.
If the answer is no,
Right.
it's time to redirect your energy towards something more worthwhile.
It's about choosing where we invest our energy, both mentally and emotionally.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this deep dive into how to stop worrying and start living,
Right.
it strikes me how much of this comes down to perspective.
It's true. Our thoughts have a powerful impact on our emotions and well-being.
Yeah.
Carnegie shares a story about a man
Okay.
who was suffering from a severe nervous breakdown, consumed by worry.
Oh, wow.
He was at his wit's end, even contemplating suicide.
Wow.
But then he had this profound realization.
Okay.
It wasn't the external circumstances that were causing him so much pain,
Right.
but his own thoughts and interpretations of those circumstances.
It's like that saying, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality.
Exactly.
But realizing that is a huge step.
Absolutely. And this realization was a turning point for the man in the story.
Okay.
He started challenging his negative thoughts,
Right.
focusing on gratitude, and ultimately he regained his health and happiness.
It's a powerful reminder that we have more control over our mental state than we often realize.
For sure.
And one of the simplest yet most effective tools Carnegie offers is this question.
Okay.
What in the hell am I worrying about?
I love that.
Right.
It sounds a bit blunt.
Yeah.
But that's the point.
Right.
It cuts through all the noise and forces us to confront the often absurd nature of our worries.
Absolutely.
When we take a moment to honestly assess the significance of what's bothering us,
Right.
we often find that it's not worth the mental and emotional energy we're investing in it.
It's like taking a step back and saying, okay, is this something I can control?
Exactly.
Is it something that will truly matter in the grand scheme of things?
Right.
And if the answer is no,
Yeah.
it's time to let it go.
Letting go of those unnecessary worries allows us to focus on what truly matters.
Right.
Our health, relationships, passions,
Yeah.
and the simple joys of life.
So as you go about your day, remember that question.
Yes.
What in the hell am I worrying about?
I love it.
Challenge those worries, put them into perspective, and choose to focus on what truly matters.
And keep in mind, even Dale Carnegie, the master of conquering worry,
Yeah.
had moments of doubt and anxiety.
Oh, yeah.
It's part of the human experience.
Right.
The key is to develop those tools, those mental strategies
Yeah.
that help us navigate those inevitable challenges with grace and resilience.
Because life is too short to be consumed by worry. So go out there and start living.
I love it.
And until next time, happy diving.